Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Pharr International Bridge Board Meeting for Friday, October the 25th. We're going to go ahead and start with a roll call. Here. Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
All right, we need a motion to excuse Tony Martinez.
Got motion.
A motion by Mr. Veas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Luis.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to gather in friendship and as a family of citizens, leadership, and workforce once again. Help us in unity to make this meeting a successful and effective one. Amen.
We continue to the Director's Administrative Report, and I guess Luis will take it from here.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, city administrators, for the record, Luis Bazan, Bridge Director. And I'll be doing our Crossings and Revenues Report for September 2024. And first and foremost, I also want to thank the board for accommodating and rescheduling, because I know there's, the month of October has been quite busy. There's been a lot going on, not just at the bridge, but at the city as a whole. And we've been doing a lot of travel, as well, a lot of business travel, a lot of promotional travel. I know some of you have been on some of these trips with us, so we appreciate it. So thank you again for accommodating us and making this happen today. So we'll get started. We can look at slide number 2, your report. This is for all bridge crossings. This is for all vehicles, totaled 101,107 for the month of September. That's an increase of 4,773 vehicles, or a 4.95% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. Slide number 3, these are car crossings. These totaled 47,861 in September. That's an increase of 4,496 cars, or a 10.37% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. Go to slide number 4, southbound car crossings comparison to other bridges. Again, we're concentrating basically on your averages, your daily averages, but more importantly in the percentages. For a gateway, minus 14%. Their daily average is 2,682. For veterans or Los Tomates, that's a decrease of 8%. Average is 4,693 per day. And your free trade Los Indios is up 7%, and that's a daily average of 1,225. So total for Brownsville is under by 8%, and that's a daily average of 8,600 cars that cross through there. Del Rio, 0% change, and they have a daily average of 4,713 cars. Donna is up 4.75%, with a daily average of 2,185 cars. Eagle Pass is up 9%, and that's a daily average of 8,146. Isleta Zaragoza and El Paso is up 13%, with a daily average of 8,808. Stanton Lerdo, also in El Paso, is down 13%, with a daily average of 4,420. So total for El Paso is up 3%, with a daily average of 13,228 combined. Laredo is up by 1%, for a daily average of 13,800. McAllen Hidalgo is down 3%, daily average of 8,149. Anzalduas is up 10%, daily average of 4,266. So total for McAllen and Anzalduas, that's up by 1%, daily average of 12,415. Pharr is up 10.37%, with a daily average of 1,595 cars. Progreso is down 12.21%, the daily average of 1,381. And Roma is down by 0.40%, daily average of 1,905 cars. We move over to slide number 5 for southbound truck crossings. These totaled 53,246 in September, and that's an increase of 277 trucks, or a 0.52% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. We go to the comparisons for southbound trucks with all bridges. Again, looking at the percentages and the daily averages. So on San Luis, still only empty trucks. They're up by 14%. Their daily average is 183. Veterans or Los Tomates is down by 13%. That's a daily average of 646. Free Trade Los Indios is up 169%, daily average of 137. So total for Brownsville is down by 1% with their daily average of 783 southbound trucks. Del Rio is down 10%. That's a daily average of 183. Eagle Pass is up 30%, daily average of 682. Isleta Zaragoza and El Paso is up 21% with a daily average of 1,843. Laredo is down 2% with a daily average of 7,986 southbound trucks. Pharr is up 1% with a daily average of 1,775. Progreso is up 64% with a daily average of 292. And Roma is up 5% with a daily average of 27 trucks. Any questions? No. Move over to slide number 7. These are northbound trucks, and these totaled 58,907 in September, so that's an increase of 4,647 trucks, or an 8.56% increase during the same time period last fiscal year. When you break it down further, that's 37,990 full trucks and 20,917 empty trucks. And a further breakdown shows that 15,123 of the full trucks were ag trucks, which represents 26% of all produce imports. Move over to slide number 8. This is a combination of northbound and southbound trucks. The combined total is 112,153 in September. That's an increase of 4,924, or 4.59% increase over the same time period last fiscal year. And I know because it came up during the last meeting, we wanted to kind of own in a little bit more on the hazmat truck, so I have a report for you real quick. So for the month of September, this is the entire month of September, when you look at all the hazmat trucks that are crossing, and these are by axle because it's not just tankers. There's 4-axle, 5-axle, and 6-axle, and then also our special crossings. So for 4 axles, we had a total of 46. 5 axles were 4,924. 6 axles, 186. And the grand total is 5,155 hazmat trucks that cross through Pharr. That's an increase of 31 trucks from one month to the next. So from August to September, that was an increase of 31 trucks. So again, 5,155 hazmat trucks through Pharr. Y como dicen, lo que va del mes, October the 1st through the 22nd, 4 axles, 21, 5 axles, 3,287, and then 6 axles, 81. So far we have 3,389 hazmat trucks that have crossed through Pharr. Questions on that? All bien? Okay. Then we go over to the revenues. So total revenues, on the revenue side, revenues totaled $1,682,709 for September. So that's an increase of $388,791, or a 30.05% increase over the same time period last fiscal year. That concludes my crossings and revenues report for September. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to entertain those.
Always. Thank you.
So up next, under the Director's Administrative Report, we have our finance report for September 2024, and we have Eddie Gutierrez who's going to be giving you a rundown of that.
Good afternoon, board members. Hilda, good morning. For the record, my name is Eddie Gutierrez. I'm the financial consultant for the bridge, reporting on the finance report through the year end of September. So first off, total revenues. Total revenues for the year ended up at 22,519,631. Of that, about 88% of it ended up from the toll fees, which is about $19,715,222. Thereafter, you have the bonds, the advances on the bond, which equaled about 1.6. There was about 54,000 for miscellaneous other miscellaneous income that came in, and then 250,000 is from the rental income, and then the 86,743 is from the that's from the peso exchange, and then you're looking at about 609,000 from the interest we make on the bonds, and then 202,000 is from the credit card charges that we charge on that. So total revenues for the year, 22,519,631. Our total expenses, total operating expenses equaled out to 7,869,269. Of that, about 54, a little over 54% belongs to the debt service, which is $4,267,522. And then thereafter, you have personnel, which is about 18%, a little over 18%, which is $1,441,377. And then you have contractual service comes in third at about almost 11%, which is $846,167. And then you have the other operating expenses. Total operating expenses is $7,869,269. Looking at just the revenues, operating expenses over as a percentage of revenues, our operating expenses are about 35% of our revenues for this year, right? When you break down that further, on the pie chart next to it on the right-hand side, the debt service represents almost 19% of the total as a percentage of revenues. And then you have personnel that represents about 6.4 as a percentage of revenues, contractual services 7.36, and then you got the other operating expenses that are a little less than that. Total operating expenses as a percentage of revenues is about 35%. And then we drill down on the toll fees, the toll collections. Actual for the year is $19,750,222. And when we compare that to our budget was at $18,415,100. And when we compare it for the same time last year, we're up 13.74, because last year we ended up at 17,334,126. So a 13.74% increase is pretty good. This is our benchmark for our expenses. We are actually at the end of the year, so we should be at 100%. We're a little over 100%. I know that there's some timing issues here with possibly, some draws from the bond or some movements as the accountants try to close out the year. So I think we're pretty much within benchmark for the year. We ended up pretty good on this. So any questions on this slide? Okay. This is our amortization table for the bonds that we have. 70% of that, the $37 million, belongs to the bridge expansion. The $16 million belong to the DAP 15, which is, I think, completed already. And then DAP 16 is just at the inception of that. So our debt service for 2024 is at $4.2 million. For next year, we're looking about the same amount. So we should be tracking that right where we should be at. So that completes the financial side of it. The next portion of it is the recapture rate. On the recapture rate, what we try to do is compare what southbounds we're capturing from the northbound traffic on the trucks. You can see that for year after year, you can see that for 2024, we ended up at 96% recapture rate. The previous years, we were recapturing more trucks coming southbound than they were going northbound. But you can see that when we look at 2024, you look at month, when you look at the month after month, we started at 98%, and then we hit about January, February, we went up to over 100%. So we were crossing more trucks going southbound than there was trucks going northbound. And then we kind of settled down, and towards the end, we're at 90% of recapture rate for September. But overall, we ended up with a 96% average recapture rate. So That concludes my presentation. If I'll entertain any questions at this time.
No, thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you, Eddie. And up next, please help me welcome our new city engineer. She was recently appointed as a city engineer, so we're very proud of her. Thank you, Maria. She's going to give us an update on all the projects.
Good afternoon. For the record, Maria Rangel, City Engineer for the City of Pharr. I'm going to present to you the activity reports on the construction projects for October 2024. The first project on the list is the FY16. So for the FY16, we had the pre-construction meeting for the project on October 23rd. We had the meeting over at the Bridge Conference Room, and of course everyone was there, GSA, CBP, our contractor, a construction manager, TxDOT. We all just sat down and talked about the issues we need to talk to before construction. They will be starting construction November 4th of this year, and construction will last 425 standard work week days. So that's Monday through Friday, about 22 months, and time will end in July of 2026. And right now, they're getting ready to mobilize. They're getting the clearances that they need to get so that they can enter the port. We will be having bi-weekly construction meetings. In the beginning, we'll have them over at the Bridge Conference Room, but then the contractor will set up a trailer on site inside the port of entry. We'll have those meetings. You're welcome to attend if you'd like. Just let us know, and we'll escort you in with somebody that has a clearance already. Or if you already have a clearance, you're welcome to stop by. Just make sure you stop by the superintendent's office or his desk there, just so you know that he knows who's on site. No issues for this project. We're just they'll start construction pretty soon, and we'll be on our way. The next project is the International Bridge expansion. That one started August 5th. Today is the 81st day, the calendar day, so we're 81 days into the contract. That's about 16.9%, and we're 6.2% into the contract amount by dollar amount. I did add a table there where I'll keep track of where we're at every month, so you can see how much progress we're making per month on it. We do have one change order that's coming. I expected that to come up sooner, but contractor is still working on it, so maybe in November it'll come by. It's looking like it's going to be a deduct change order to the contract for the overhead sign bridge. And I'll share more information about that once I get it from the contractor. So the work that they're actually doing out there, I wanted to share this detail from the design contracts with you. On the detail, it shows with the solid lines the proposed bridge that they're building. It shows there, you can see the columns, and then under the columns there's the foundation. So currently the contractor is working on those foundations, which we call drilled shafts. There's a total of 351 drilled shafts in the project on the U.S. side, and the contractor has 2 subcontractors working on those, and they've completed 36 drilled shafts, which are the foundations to date, so that's about 10% of what needs to be done. Once they finish all of those, they'll move on to the columns, and of course everything that goes on top of that. So they are making good progress. There's a lot of these, and they're working efficiently. On the pictures here, you can see some of the drilled shafts that they've drilled. So these are 5 feet wide, and they go about 60 feet deep or so. The distance varies, but it's about 60, 70 feet below ground that they drill. And these are those that you see there on the left, those are prepared for concrete to come in and for concrete to be poured in. And then over here on the right, you see them putting in the rebar that goes inside the drill shafts. For the commercial vehicle parking area, for that one, we are having discussions with TxDOT on it. We're prepared to award that project and get started, but we are hammering out some details with them. So we'll get started. I'm hoping it's looking like it's going to be next month, November 2024, for a start date of December or January 2025. So I'll keep you updated on that one as well, of how discussions go. Those are all the projects I have right now, all the information. Are there any questions that I can address right now?
Well, first, we want to congratulate you again on your
Thank
new
you.
position.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I know you're working on the foundation.
Yes.
Are they prefabbing any of the, I don't know the terminal word, but the beams that you're gonna put on
Yes.
top, or they're gonna bring them pre-staging them here?
Yes,
Just to get the process.
Yes, like the bents, the ones that go across.
The pillar to.
Yeah, the columns. Those will come in already made.
Okay.
Yes.
But are you bringing any here to have them already ready, or you bring them until you're ready to put them on?
When they're ready. I don't know how the contractor will, I'm pretty sure he'll order them ahead of time and then already have them like piled
Okay.
up somewhere. Um, uh, yeah, but that's the idea.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
The other one, the last one is the truck parking, no?
Yes.
Can we see that again?
Yes.
What is, how many truck spaces is it gonna be?
It's about 270, 73, 76.
You don't have anything on the layout or anything there? No, nothing?
Not on this slide, but I do have something I can share with you.
Okay, that'll be great,
Okay.
because, 'cause I mean, but it's gonna be able to have to put, like, hold fulls, no?
On that one?
Sí, porque it's overweight, and then, last time I asked somebody, does it even have bathrooms? I don't know.
No, I think Luis had meeting with several people to lay out what amenities or the amenities they're gonna have there.
Yeah.
Shops and, not shops for shopping, but, for repairs, so.
If there's no bathrooms.
Yeah, there's no
one's gonna go,
bathrooms,
eh?
yeah.
If there's not a bathroom.
Sí.
Yes, that'll be a separate project. As of now, it's a separate project where we will be adding the basic necessities or the amenities there for the truck drivers.
You're bidding already on it, that's, I didn't know.
Yes, we'll keep you in the loop of that as well.
Thank
All right.
So have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you for the status report. And yes, regarding the truck parking, I know it's been a long time coming. We started with this project, I'm gonna say 7, maybe 8 years ago. It's probably one of the first projects that I got my hands on from the very beginning. But we are looking at the potential, not just the amenities, but also maybe reworking the spaces available. You know, we talked to an architect to see about kind of reconfiguring the truck parking spaces to see if we can add more, and also to add some potential scales. Some scales there. From the looks, from a bird's eye view and looking at the whole, the entire, design, there is some available space there, which will still allow us for the accommodations like restrooms and things of that nature, but more importantly, for some of the services that are really required by truckers and the logistics companies.
Any other questions? No.
Okay, so real quick, before I get started with my director's report as part of item 2D, I just want to say, again, thank you to the leadership, obviously, of our mayor, the city commission, but also the bridge board. We've had a very successful month, and we couldn't have done all that we were able to fit in the month of October, and this is the entire year. I mean, we just ended an entire fiscal year, and thanks to the leadership, we were able to get through it and do so many more things this year. So thank you all for your steadfast leadership, for allowing us to continue. But I think also, the people working behind the scenes, that's gonna be very important to bring up right now. And I wanted to thank the team. I wanted to really thank the team, the Pharr Bridge team, for really stepping it up. When we first started planning what I'm about to show you here, I'm of the mindset, don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't do more because I'd rather be excellent at one thing than try to, spread ourselves too thin. But man, they proved me wrong. And there was a lot of headaches and a lot of work and a lot of back and forth to get everything piled into that 1 week, especially on Fresh on the Border week, which again ended with the Avocado Festival on behalf of the city. But I think, the Pharr team deserves a big praise because they've really, again, stepped it up and showed their commitment and their effort, and they never gave up. They just continued to push forward. So thank you, gracias a todos. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you do and to get it done. And also to the city, because as I mentioned at the start of the Produce City event, I saw so many people from the city working out there behind the scenes as well. It's become such a large production that it's not just a one-man show anymore. It's not just a one-department show anymore. Everybody comes together, and that just goes to show, that's a testament to who we are, which is Team Pharr. So just again, thank you for everything, and thank you for all that you continue to do and continue to push the envelope. We always go bigger. And as I mentioned at that event, people say, well, more is less, or less is more, whatever it is. But to us, more is more. More is more. Y siempre vamos a abarcar más. and we're always going to be pushing that envelope to continue to be successful, to continue to be the trendsetters and the trailblazers in the international trade business. So thank you. Muchas gracias de nuevo. The first annual try for Gulf Trade, this is an event that we had been talking about for, 3-4 years now, and we were able to finally get this done during Fresh on the Border Week. As a matter of fact, that was the kickoff to the kickoff. That was a kickoff to start of the produce season. And if you don't mind sharing some numbers, Vanessa or Freddie, I know we had at least about 140 players out there, if I'm not mistaken. 115? 115. So, but it was like 40 teams, right? Yeah. Microphone.
When originally it was supposed to be only 30 teams, and we ended up with close to 40.
So I know Edgar was there. I know Tony Martinez were there as well that morning to give a welcome. And again, everybody enjoyed themselves. We came back in the afternoon, and it was still going on. People were barely coming in. Andaban medio asoleados ya, pero they had a lot of fun. So I'm very proud of finally getting this achievement done. And, sky's the limit for the next one. So thank you. Just some more pictures here of all the players. And thank you to all the sponsors. Sobre todo, thank you to all the sponsors, because obviously these events, we've never intended to have such large events, but we've been very blessed with great customers and great sponsors, great people that donate, that these events pay for themselves. And then we're able to make a little bit extra money and give some of that money back to the chamber. So that it's a win-win for everybody across the board. And then the start of the produce season celebration. Is there sound to this or no? I know Yuri showcased this video at the City annual start of the produce season. It started with growers in Mexico bringing their product across, growing that product over there and bringing it across with this bridge. And that's why we were able to become the #1 produce bridge in the nation. And we're still holding on to that title. So this is just a testament of what we're bringing today.
Everybody looks forward to this event. It is different, it's fun, it's exciting. It's just not a regular ribbon cutting. You literally do cut your first piece of produce. This event started with maybe 40 individuals and now has grown to over 150 individuals. And that is a testament in terms of the work and the dedication that the city and our bridge department has had.
We import the produce through the Pharr International Bridge. We've been here for 10 years. Pharr has helped us grow with being able to expand and connecting with other people in the industry. The evolution has been great. I mean, introducing the Taste of Trade has been great.
It's our 3rd annual Taste of Trade, where we invite the local restaurants to give us a little bit of a taste of what these products are, right? These products that are crossing this bridge.
As somebody who's been at this event for the very first time, it's been a stellar experience. This has been fantastic to see all the local people come out and grab fruit, and then be able to broadcast what we do on a daily basis is awesome.
Oh, this industry goes beyond just business. Produce is for community, and that community comes first is such an incredible mission to be a part of. This has been such a cool experience. It's so welcoming, and I mean, just to see how many people come together over produce, an industry that we love so much, has been just the best experience ever.
And for those of you that were not there, Mr. Evan Ellers, he was our special guest. This kid, he's 28 years old or something, started in college, and he had all these leftover lunches. So he was able to cash them out at the end of the year, because he was winding up with about 50 or 60 leftover lunches that were just going to go to waste. So once he did that, he started giving that food out to the homeless in his hometown, Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. And he was able to start that business.
You tell him just to put him there, put him back on the screen, the guy with his logo. The one you're talking about.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So you can
It's the last guy in the video. If you could just kind of like go forward and just kind of put a steel frame on right there. So there he is.
Not with me, no. That didn't say that.
There it is. There he is. So very proud of this guy for what he's done. Freddie was able to track this guy down. I don't know how he did it, but we were able to track this guy down and bring him over. And we said, since we're taking this back to the trade community, we're taking this event back to the industry, this was a perfect way to finish the day that day. And he created this business called Sharing Excess. Means that everything that he's able to take and that's gonna go to waste. Most importantly now, in produce, it's all going back to communities. It's all going back to those that are in need, those that can't afford it. So he's growing, and it looks like they might be even expanding into the South Texas area, hopefully to the Pharr area, to our region. So it was important to have him there and share his story. So if you missed it, I know that it's up on our social media. It's up on YouTube, on Facebook, and you can see the entire video there and get to hear the story directly from him. Has anybody heard of Mr. Beast? He's a phenomenon, YouTube phenomenon. So this guy partnered up with Mr. Beast, with Beast Philanthropy, and that's how he was able to get further funded to continue his mission, to continue his dream. And that's why he's able to expand. So now he's able to pay himself a salary, pay a team, pay for employees. But what does that do? That allows him to continue to grow and give more back to the community. I know he wants to expand into Mexico as well. So we are that gateway. And we want to, help him out in his mission and to collaborate with him in the future.
That's when I had, that's when I had to praising your team because they do a very good job in every event that you guys do. The golf course, everybody. It took a little longer because of so many teams we had, but it was a good experience, especially for being the first one. And in this case, Freddie getting this guy, because I mean he pretty much stole the show with his story, and a lot of the guys that send produce out of here will benefit out of an operation like this, especially because the operation he has now in New York is inside the Hunts Point market, which is the biggest produce market on the East Coast. So any excess produce that they have can be sent to him. He does have obviously he doesn't give out bad produce. He does sort it out and it gets separated, the good stuff and the bad stuff. And whatever's not good, obviously has to go to the landfill or something else. But he does have a process and it's very impressive.
Sure.
What he's doing.
It truly is. And needless to say, there are some follow-ups because there's going to be more business because of this. It's going to bring more to Pharr. It's going to bring more to the region, and obviously more across the board, across into Mexico in the future as well. So thank you all again for everything that you do. Trade Talks. So this was our second annual Trade Talks, as also part of Fresh on the Border Week. And what we did this year, as I had explained during last month, we decided to invite all our member associations that we're members of, that we participate with, that we have been learning from throughout the last, I would say 10 years. And we invited all these associations. Obviously, not all of them made it, but it gave them an opportunity to talk to our attendees about what they do, what they bring to the table, their offerings, their benefits, their advantages. There's a lot of companies out there, a lot of customers that might not see the value in a certain membership, like joining a chamber or something like that. So we brought that to them. We brought all these associations to them so they could understand where they're coming from and why, the reason why we joined these associations, right? That's the way we get out there. We get in front of the decision makers, but more importantly, it's a value added, something that we bring to the table and we share with our customers and even those that are not customers, because some folks that are there might not be customers yet, or they might be barely starting, but they're seeing that we're doing something more than just being a bridge. As we like to say nowadays, somos más que solo un puente. We're more than just a bridge, and this is one of the reasons why. So Trade Talks, a little bit of a spinoff on TED Talk or TED Talks or TEDx, whatever you want to call it. But we started the day with our friend Ken Roberts from World City. As you know, we invite him every year to give us a rundown of the numbers. He's the one that puts the trade numbers, the Pharr trade numbers together for us, and to other bridges and other land ports and seaports. But it's important to bring him over once a year to discuss that with the trade community and our customers so that they can understand that if we talk about being the #1 produce bridge, that if we're saying we're crossing 70% manufactured goods and 20% perishables and 10% oil and gas, what does that mean? Well, this guy puts all the numbers together from the U.S. Census, compiles it, puts it together, makes sense of it, and then gives us a rundown of it, and also kind of like tying it into what's going on economically right now, what's going on across in Mexico, and what the outlook might look like for future trade. So it was a very good experience. And then this is Rachel Connell. Rachel Connell, as for those, some of you already know her. Her name is, she's from NASCO. That is the North American Strategy for Competitiveness, the only tri-national association which represents Canada, U.S., and Mexico. And we were very excited to have her here because she hasn't been here in over 7 or 8 years. So she was very happy to be here, and she also participated and talked about NASCO and what they do. The guy next to her, that's Sergio Guajardo. Sergio Guajardo is basically the right-hand man to the Secretary of Economic Development for the state of Tamaulipas. And this guy's all over because we saw him again the following week in Aguascalientes for the Noreste, for the Comce Nacional conference. And again, just talking about how we're collaborating. They have a big platform right now for logistics, and obviously we're included in this platform and that promotional activity, so it was great to have them both there speaking. That's the logo that Vanessa came up with for Trade Talks, and the folks that you see on there are basically, you know, we recently launched the TXTA, Texas Truckers Association Pharr chapter. So you have, what's his name, Freddie? Mark? Dana Moore, who is the current president. And then we had their counterparts. We had the folks from Reynosa now, and now we're working with both entities together. And that was the whole idea behind this too, is that we're working with everybody. It's not just Canacar, it's not just ATR, somos todos juntos. And we all are part of that supply chain, and we all depend on each other. So that's why it was important to also bring them on board and have them there, be with their counterparts from the US so we can work more collectively. Ahí está Crispin Flores, who's going to come up here in a little bit. And we also have Mr. Jose Luis Garcia, who is the president for ARAC, and he is the representative for the customs brokers of Reynosa. And they represent at the national level with CAREM. So again, just very proud of the work. These are both manufacturing guys. You have Raul Setien, to my right in the picture. He is the current president for Index Reynosa, which is a manufacturing association. And you have Mike Willis, who is the president and representative right now for South Texas Manufacturing Association. So again, just having both sides working together, talking together, that was the goal. That was the goal for this Trade Talks. And that is our primary speaker. She was la invitada de honor, como dicen. Please remind me her name. Her name, Espinosa? Georgina Espinosa. And she was able to give a rundown also of what her expertise is. She also represents the women's, she also represents women customs brokers and the World Trade Organization or something like that. So we were really happy to have her here. And you know, again, for next year, looking forward to Trade Talks. Might be something that we start doing quarterly now, depending on how things fall into place with our calendar, with our ever expanding calendar. But we want to bring more of this to Pharr. We want to bring this more of this to the region. And then speaking of more stuff that the bridge is doing, why we're more than just a bridge. Again, our Bridge Connect, I cannot stress the importance of this. We've been doing this since 2014. Every month we have some type of a session. This time we decided to join efforts with the Mid-Valley Customs Brokers Association, and that's why Mr. Crispin Flores is here. So this is ACE portal training. This is the automated commercial environment that all importers, exporters need to be in compliance with in order to move product and trade through Pharr, and for that matter, through any bridge. But this is, again, portal training for U.S. customs brokers only. This is Thursday, November the 14th at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and this is going to be there at our offices at the Pharr International Bridge. So at this time, I'll just bring quickly Crispin Flores, who is the current president for Mid-Valley Customs Brokers Association, so he can talk a little bit more about why we're doing this specifically with customs brokers. Crispin?
Good afternoon. My name is Crispin Flores. I'm with C&J Logistical Services and also president of Mid-Valley Customs Brokers Association. I heard that the Pharr Bridge has a great group. They do. They're doing a great job with their operations, with reaching out to the community, make sure that information is being provided, outreach is being provided to the community. This training is basically tailored for U.S. customs brokers. Over the years, there's been training for other entities involved in the Import-Export Committee. So our association is trying to get the training that our members need, and that is our goal, to teach our members what is their responsibility to comply with different programs with customs. Throughout the years, we've been talking to different entities of customs to try to get this program. We finally were able to meet with Trade Affairs Office out of the Dallas area to be able to hold this event. We will be having some gentlemen out of the Laredo area come down and present the information to our members. It is a good event. It's something that Freddie and I have been working on for some time also. So it's something that we hope to keep on doing and providing not only to our members in the future, to the trade community that is involved here in the Pharr area.
Have any questions?
Any questions? No?
No. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Well, I
you
was
for
here to
speaking.
help you. too.
All right, appreciate
You know
you.
how to reach me, so in case you
All
need
right.
anything. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that, Crispin. What else we have on here? So we got more stuff coming up. Our third annual Trucks Giving Luncheon. We started it 3 years ago. That was actually an idea that Vanessa brought to the table, and I couldn't say no to that. I said, that's a great idea. Her and Freddie started working together, putting the team, and they made it happen. So this year we're doing something a little bit different. It's still a Thanksgiving lunch, but we're hosting it outside. We had a very successful hot summer luncheon recently. I forget the amount of people that attended, but it was outside in a tent. The weather's nicer now, so it's tolerable. And we invite our customers in the trade community to come out here and have Thanksgiving lunch with us, but we call it Trucksgiving. So this is for Thursday, November the 14th, and this is from 12 to 2, and it's going to be right outside of the Pharr Bridge. We're going to have a nice setup there, and we got, turkey and all the trimmings. So vengan y acompáñenos para todos nuestros clientes que nos puedan acompañar el día 14 de noviembre allá afuera del puente para celebrar Thanksgiving, en este caso Trucksgiving. That's it. And that's it. We do have some other plans, some other trips for November. Those we're going to be working on. But again, it's been a very, very busy October. And I think we're going to start seeing some differences in what we're doing here in our efforts. I think we're going to start seeing the numbers also. A bit of a different representation on the numbers and what that means as far as crossings and revenues. So again, just thank you to everybody for making the Pharr International Bridge successful. And I'm bringing that out now more than ever because it is our 30th year anniversary. Next month in November is our 30th year anniversary, but we've been celebrating all year. So it's important. I know I've been talking also with Eddie, and we're going to bring in also some other information, some more data, kind of compiling the entire history of the bridge in numbers since 1994, 1995, all the way to now, so we can see all that growth throughout the years. But again, just thanks to everybody. That concludes my director's report.
All right. Thank you, Luis. Do we have any questions? No. All right. You guys
I can
will
read
move
them
to
out.
administrative.
Yes, sir. So we're going to item administrative, item 3A, approval of minutes for September 25, 2024, for the regular called meeting.
We need a motion. A motion, Mr. Veas. I second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3B, discussion and action, if any, on renewal of Transportation Intermediaries Association, otherwise known as TIA, membership dues in the amount of $715 for the year. As you remember, this was brought on, I think it was recommended by Tony at some point by our vice chairman, and they are very policy driven, and it's for transportation. So we recommend approval.
We need a motion. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Veas.
I second.
Second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3C, discussion and action, if any, on renewal of San Antonio Mobility Coalition, Inc., or SAMCO membership in the amount of $1,575. And this is something that I had recommended also about 2 or 3 years ago. And now more important than ever, as we move forward with plans for our toll collection system and possible interoperability with the rest of the state of Texas. That means that we want to align ourselves with the inroads and outroads, as they say, and other toll collection systems along the highways going into San Antonio, Austin, and obviously the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So that's why it's important to continue, very policy-driven as well, and we can learn a lot from other companies that are not here in the valley.
We need a motion. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Campero, second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3D, discussion and action, if any, on renewing the Rio Grande Valley Partnership Chamber of Commerce membership in the amount of $2,500. It's self-explanatory. We've been members of this regional Chamber of Commerce for many years, and we recommend approval going forward.
We need a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Campero, second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Moving on, item 3E, discussion and action, if any, on 2025 International Fresh Produce Association corporate membership in the amount of $2,595. Part of our team just came back from the IFPA, which took place in Atlanta. Very successful trip. We got a lot accomplished. I was not there. I was in Aguascalientes for another trip. But, you know, we recommend approval going forward. This is the former PMA, or Produce Marketing Association. Now it's combined. We want to maintain our place there. It's a great platform for produce, not just regionally, but basically worldwide. It's global.
We need a motion. A motion by Mr. Veas,
I second it.
second by Mr. Campero. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
And last item, 3F, discussion and action, if any, on renewal of NASCO annual membership dues in the amount of $5,000. I just brought up NASCO during my director's report. Also, we've been working very closely with them for several years now, and there's so much more that they're going to be doing, more on the policy side as well. As we learn about our upcoming elections and who gets to handle the throne for the next 4 years, you know, we're going to have to collectively work with NASCO and some of these major associations, especially as we get ready to also look at the current trade agreement again, I think in next year or 2026, if I'm not mistaken. ¿Cuándo se renueva? ¿Cuándo se ve lo del NASCO? 2026.
Renegotiation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be important going forward.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Campero,
I second.
second by Mr. Veas. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
That's
So
it.
we need a motion to adjourn. Veas smiling when he makes a motion. Second, I second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
Thank you all very much again. Have a great rest of your day and weekend, because now it's Friday, so
Thank you.
gracias por todo.
Yeah.